Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic, host of Bachelor Nation News, and we've got a potential proposal happening in Italy. Now, hold on a second. We're going to get into this. Victoria Fuller and Greg Grippo are heading back to Italy. Or is it back to Italy? Back to Cali? Okay, either way, I'm Dave Neal. I'm back in California, that is, and I've been traveling this last week. And, of course, I think we're the only people in the world covering Bachelor news this week. I guess I didn't get the memo. We're taking the week off. So if you enjoy a little bit of content during this dry lull, the end of the year doldrums, then do me a favor. Hit the like button, subscribe, join the Patreon at DNeals on Instagram, patreon.com/Dave Neal for private behind-the-scenes bonus content, which I will be delivering this morning at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Speaking of delivering content, what I'm going to do for you guys after I discuss this video here is go into further depth on this afternoon's Bachelor Rush Hour podcast with regards to a little bit more information about the spoilers, I should say sources I received that spoke about this relationship and the timeline in which it happened. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit extra content on Bachelor Rush Hour, the podcast this afternoon. Just click the link in the description or just type in Bachelor Rush Hour wherever you listen to podcasts. If you don't know how to listen to podcasts, there's an app on your phone. Google it. It's very easy. It's free. So we'll give you some of that content right there. But of course, making news yesterday was Victoria Fuller saying, we're going back to Italy. And there they are. Of course, Italy, the country in which Victoria Fuller and Greg Grippo stopped time for Bachelor enthusiasts as it was revealed that they were dating. Some said, oh, maybe they're friends, or maybe that's not Greg Grippo, just another man with fantastic hair that looks like he's from Jersey. And sure enough, we got confirmation it was them. A fascinating story. One of the top stories of 2022, and it's not over yet. There are 2 days left. What day is it today? Is today the 30th or 29th? It's the 29th. There are 29th, 30. There's 2.5 days left for 2022 to get crunked and get crazy. So let's see if they want to steal the news cycle and do something wild and fun in Italy, like get engaged. We can probably tell from some of the romantic storylines here and the Instagram stories that it is a possibility. A relationship that starts this crazy, and by crazy I mean fast, whirlwind, in the public eye, people don't approve it. It almost makes sense that they get engaged, that they pop the question, as it were, especially if, and I don't know if she's doing this still, but especially if, and I don't mean to dive into her personal life here, but especially if she's still saving herself for marriage. Because if that's the case, then maybe there's a little incentive to put a little ring on it, if you will. But we're not here to pry into their personal lives. Like I always say, we're just going to share what exists on the internet, what exists out there, what people are talking about, and add a little bit to that discussion. First stop, spa. So there they are at the spa. Beautiful looking spa. Lighting's a little dark, but that's okay. Is it a spa in front of a fireplace? I mean, just amazing. So there they are, dressed in what we like to call a little black dress. She's got the one of those giant suitcases that the ladies make you lug around. House of CB, which I believe is a Revolve brand. House of CB is what she's wearing. Looks like a black lace. I'm not really sure. And could these be dumplings? I can't really tell from this photo what they're eating here. But they got that beautiful fancy food there in London. London, not known for its culinary, although it looks like we have a nice sort of seared scallop happening here. All right. And then another plays a video again here. Her and Greg locking arms as they go out for maybe a date night, maybe a late night. So there they are, London, the clock of London, the London Tower. What the hell's it called? Oh, our good London. Any fans of ours in London? We got to do some stand-up shows over there in London. Let me know. This bloke will travel. Kiss me. JK, please don't mess up my lips is what Victoria says there. So there they are. He gives her a little kiss. And, like you got to learn, Greg. You got to learn when your lady's got her A makeup on, when she's got deliverables, as it were. She's got things to report on. She's got to post her CB, House of CB dress. You can't just be smudging her with your lips. All right. So here's what Greg had to say. What are your plans? What are your London plans? Where to next? He said, next up, dinner. So there they are. A little hot tub and dinner happening here. And from Greg's Bachelor bestie, who is Victoria's favorite? So I wonder who his Bachelor besties are. So let's see what he has to say here.
From Greg's Bachelor besties, who is Victoria's favorite?
I would say probably Andrew and Justin.
Andrew and Justin?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Who's your
th-
favorite?
they're all right. Hey, didn't you go on a date with Justin? People are saying.
Yeah,
Yeah, how'd that go?
it was fine. We're friends.
He goes, "How did that date go?" She goes, "It was fine. We were friends." I don't know if you could hear that. I actually really enjoy this sort of like blending of what went down on TVs versus the social media game. I mean, it's not exactly podcast worthy, but it's funny stuff for him to be like, "Didn't you date my friend?" And she's like, "Yeah, no big deal, whatever." And by the way, I didn't see any chemistry with Justin and Victoria on their date. They didn't show them kissing, right? They didn't show the date ending. I kind of feel like it was a platonic date. It almost makes you wonder, and again, I don't even know if I've got my X Files music ready to go here. It's been a few weeks since we've used it. But it makes you wonder, was Victoria's date with Justin just a place killer as they waited for Greg to show up? And when Greg never showed up, does she date? Okay, so I don't really know, but maybe Justin knew. Maybe Justin was boys with Greg and knew that Greg liked Victoria, and maybe Justin was like, "All right, well, I'll take her on a date." But I don't think that was the case. I don't think there would be any favors on Bachelor in Paradise. I'm pretty sure Justin would go for whoever the best option was in the moment.
You hated every moment of it, right?
Yeah.
All right, so having fun there. The Eye of London. Speaking of the Eyes of London, there's no not seeing what they're up to here. But again, like I said, they'll post things on their Instagram stories. They got their tattoos right there. Ciao. So we'll have to see what their new tattoos are. But of course, this was an Instagram reel we shared a few days ago, sharing their love story. And look, hey, you can talk about the timeline all you want and all the issues that are surrounding whatever it might have been moral or ethical or move on too soon or too fast. And those are the things that we digest in the world of Bachelor Nation. But with all that said, it looks like they're living their best life, and I root that on for anyone living their best life. I hope that they're able to, like they've already talked a little bit about like working on each other's inner child and how to overcome the triggers they have, and that's like me, that's like that's like my erroneous spot when people talk about inner child work. I'm like, oh yeah, this is great because it's all about overcoming imprints of our past, who we were, where we want to be, and learning to navigate the blueprints of our brain. We talk about it with Demi in 2022, understanding that she's autistic as she talks about overcoming, her alcoholism and sobriety and trying to find out what her triggers are. All day long, I'm 37 and I'm just learning that like if my wife wants to come talk to me about like going to get her nails done, yeah, and wants me to go with her, like don't do it while give me the space to talk to me about these things. Don't do it in a situation where I'm about to go to a stand-up show or I'm about to record a video. Like we have to, and this might be a bad example, but it's the one from today. She's like, let's go get, I want to get my nails done, whatever. And I'm like, honey, we just got home, I haven't done laundry yet. And it's like, all right, just chill out, Dave. It's 8 a.m. Like we can make time and shuffle everything around. But the point being is that our triggers are like tripwires. They go off based on very simple primal things. And we talked about Victoria Fuller with this and her inability to overcome whatever tripwires existed with Johnny, and Johnny's inability to overcome them as they existed with her leads to insecurity. And it's just like a bomb waiting to go off. And then the bombs do go off. So someone like Greg might be very chill, relaxed, and composed when it comes to the bombs that go off with Victoria, doesn't run away, doesn't prove her right that whenever they get in a fight, the guy's just going to leave because all he wants me is for is my body. And then once he has that, then he's not, whatever the case. I'm not a psychologist. I don't know how it works, but it's usually pretty similar that we have a fear of abandonment. And when we're afraid of abandonment, sometimes we just push the person away. You can't fire me, I quit. That type of thing. Maybe Greg's the type that says, you know what? I'm going to go get a cup of coffee for us. Let's go get a frozen pizza. We'll talk about this. You like DiGiorno? You want the kind with the cheese and the crust? I don't care. I'm going to get it for you, baby. Oh, no, don't do that. No. It's okay. I understand that you had a reptilian reaction to the side of your brain that's fight or flight, and you still love me. And I'm going to show up for you until the day we die. And then maybe that doesn't happen. Maybe they break up next month. I don't know. The point is we need to be there for each other. And some people say, oh, codependency is a bad thing. I understand. Whenever you put someone else's needs ahead of your own, that is a bad thing. But the ability to learn to read what someone's saying, not just by the words they use, but by the actions they're taking, understanding that you might be in a position where, hey, I don't like fighting in closed areas because I used to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend that would manipulate me or push me into the corner. So you learn that and you go, well, maybe we don't have a hard conversation in a car because you feel trapped. You learn these simple things about your partner and yourself, and you strip away what seems to be all the volatility. So you could have a case, and I always say this, that enlightenment doesn't happen gradually. You go from one level to the next. They call it a quantum leap. The electron doesn't travel from one level to the next, and you can watch it travel. It literally disappears and then reappears somewhere else. That's called the quantum leap. It's a figure of speech for what happens when you learn something about yourself. And if she learned that she's got this counter dependency where she pushes guys away or plays the victim and makes them feel a certain way, and he learns that he pushed Katie Thurston away in their relationship because he didn't get what he needed out of it, and he says, I need this and she needs that, and they're able to provide it for each other while also working on themselves, et voila, mwah, chef's kiss, we have a happy relationship, and I wish them that. Now I'm going to share with you you know what, I'm kind of out of time. I'll give you a 1-minute clip from my interview on Reality Steve's podcast yesterday. I'll play a little bit more of this on my podcast, but here's Reality Steve saying what his biggest news story of the year was, and of course, it was Victoria and Greg. Me personally, what the craziest story of the year for me was Clayton Echard and the young lady, she's a college girl, a disgruntled college lady, she accused him of having sex with her when he was across the country, and he had to prove it on his watch. We'll share that story in a bit, but here's Reality Steve sharing that this was his biggest story of the year.
Is so much more interesting than what we get on a 2-hour edited show every Monday night and in Paradise Case every Monday and Tuesday night. But I think the Victoria Greg bombshell in Italy that turned into is it or isn't them, and then it's like we get the first video where someone shows at the Roman Coliseum, but she just says it was them, and then we get a picture of them that you posted of them from a distance, but it's from behind. It's like, well, it could be them. And then I got the video of them at the Trevi Fountain. It's like, okay, it is them. Holy shit. What is going on? Biggest story of the year.
I never get firsthand info. So when somebody sent me that photo, I was like, well, clearly this has made the rounds and it's been debunked. And then I go, or maybe not. And my photo had no proof. Yours was like, hello, you had, and still some people didn't believe it. And then you had the subway photo.
Yeah.
But it's like.
Okay, so if you enjoy a couple old bags talking about the craziest story of the year, go check out Reality Steve's podcast. I'm going to give you all a little bit of insight into how this story went down, where I feel about it now. Has my views changed? Would I have done it differently? I'm going to give you all of that on today's Bachelor Rush Hour. More content coming your way. I'll be live on Patreon if you want to share your New Year's goals with me. Patreon.com/Dave Neal, 10 a.m. I think it'll be worth your money. I think we talk a lot about the behind the scenes of making content and living our dreams and going out on your own and making things happen. So if you want to be a part of that community, Patreon.com/Dave Neal, 10 a.m. today. You can always listen to the live streams afterwards, but you can catch them live and have that private convo with us as we make today's content. All right, folks, more coming to you right after this.